Loudest mute button in podcasting history. Welcome to Wrestling is Hard, where every side is the dark side of the ring. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Email questions and complaints at wrestlingisHard@gmail.com. I'm Jim. Brandon, hello. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Jim? I'm doing all right. Fired up Elden Ring. I'm about 50 hours in. I think I finally built a character that's I can function in the game with, so things are going well over here. Watching some Who's Your Daddy matches this morning with Chris. Having a good time over here. The vibe is high.
Who's Your Daddy matches. Chris, how are you?
Who's your daddy? That's all I got to say. Yeah, I'm well. Watched some new TV shows, finished some TV shows. Watched Werewolf by Night last night on the Disney Plus network.
How was it?
Excellent, actually. 50 minutes long. Got to the point. And some interesting characters in there that I won't spoil for anybody.
Werewolves?
I mean, I can spoil it.
Yeah, who cares?
I don't know.
Brandon, will you be upset?
No.
There you go.
The official MCU introduction of the Man-Thing.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was 50 minutes long. Even if it stunk, it was good. It was 50 minutes. Right? Like, way to go. Way to do a superhero story that's not 3.5 hours.
Oh, this isn't a show. It's just a single 50 minutes.
No, it was like a single one-off special thing. It was 50 minutes long.
You don't see the old TV special very often anymore.
Yeah, it was good. It was in black and white. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I also been watching the Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and we came across the episode where it's all the characters in the Star Trek spaceship are in another time and in different clothes, and like the transporter malfunction, holodeck
Weird
malfunction, weird universe where everybody acts different and in different clothes except for one person. That person's normal, and then everybody else is like the characters in a book. And I was like, they got to do this in every fucking series, every season of every series. They've fucking done this shit. And yeah, turned it off. Got 20 minutes into it. I was like,
or what is this?
No, it's live action. It's the Pike Enterprise. But I was like, I enjoyed watching it because it was singular episodes. There were very few arcs. But at the same time, I looked at my wife and I was like, fuck. I am not a merry man. It was that episode.
I like that.
Like there's always one.
There's
one in every season of every series. There's one of those episodes. And I was like, fuck, man, they couldn't get away from it. Jesus Christ. That's all I got.
On the shows. Costume change holodeck episodes of Star Trek.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's a standard Star Trek trope. I feel like I'm in a TV mode right now where I'm watching 25 minutes of everything and then just hitting that wall where I'm like, oh, fuck, this is so bad. We tried to watch that The Watcher on Netflix. It's like this new horror series about these people buy a house and there's someone that's been guarding it for 100 years. Or some shit like that. 20 minutes in, every scene is so over the top corny. City and I just ended up laughing at it, and then that wears off, and you're like, this is a 7-hour long miniseries. Where could this possibly be going? I've watched 20 minutes of 100 shows.
There is a movie out called Watcher. That's supposed to be very good. I haven't watched it yet. It's available, I believe, on Shudder. It's on my stupid movie list. And I thought that show was it. When it popped up on Netflix, I was like, oh, it's available on Netflix. Maybe I'll check it out. Luckily, I read the description and I saw like Naomi Watts. I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't look like what I wanted to watch. I did not watch it, thank God.
There's a lot of everything is like they tell you the plot. I forget if we talked about this before. as we're in our time-killing effort because we don't want to talk about wrestling again. I forget if we talked about this before, but all these shows now, they just tell you, instead of just showing me what's going on for the 7 hours, they have this scene where they're like, the dad goes to the bank and he wants to buy the house, so he has to tell you they don't have enough money to buy the house. And the guy goes, if you buy the house, you're not going to be able to sell the house. And he goes, I don't care. Get me in the house. And then it's like ominous music plays. You're like, okay, now I know they're going to end up in the house and it's going to be bad and they're not going to be able to get out, instead of just implying that throughout a more interesting way.
I just found out that Pluto TV has a spooky stream of horror movies. I put it on at work, and I banged out a couple of decent ones at work. The Babadook was on there. The remake of The Grudge, which isn't great, but it's good being at work horror movie. There's a couple of good ones on there. Yeah, it was just like, it just runs through them, and it runs all night. When it reaches the top of the hour, you get a Pluto's TV screen that just keeps running until the hour's up. Then they start another one. It's got ads, but I think it's definitely worth downloading the app. You just want to have some background.
I'm a huge fan.
I was going to ask you, how did they? How many times have you seen the T-Mobile ad where they're running out of the house like, ah? I watched Ultraman on there the other day, man, and that ad, every ad break was the same 3 ads. I was like, oh God, there's got to be a better way.
But I just mute it. I don't pay attention.
Well, yeah, you're doing so. I was actually sitting on the couch watching, like, oh God.
But I mean, like, we'll sit there, on the couch and put on HGTV, which I fucking hate that channel, and we'll just sit on our phones. I'd rather have something in the background that I'm actually going to pay attention to when I want to pay attention to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then there's commercial. I get up, I go to the bathroom, I come back. Here we go. I'm watching the Babadook again.
They have, I like all the old shows. They have just dedicated channels. Like if you just want to put, I don't know, the Addams Family on in the background or something. So I'll just let those rip throughout the night if I'm trying to fall asleep or something. The streaming platforms have now opened up to a point where the good ones are actually just completely free. There's Netflix is just producing multi-million-dollar shit pile after multi-million-dollar shit pile, and you can just go on Pluto TV and get all the old good stuff for $0.
Yeah, I'm into it. Well, that's Hulu is paying now.
I was going to say, sorry, Jim.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, how many of these TV shows, especially the old ones, are you actually physically watching? Like Jim was saying, that you can't just throw them on and deal with fucking that same T-Mobile commercial over and over again. I mean, the commercials on regular TV are the same over and over again anyway, and at least they're not some politician shit commercial like
John Fetterman is out of touch,
and he's like, they must love John Fetterman because this doesn't matter. It's not an indictment on him as a person, but he's not that attractive a man. And they love to find those horrible pictures. Like there's the one where it's I forget who, it's 3 people, maybe Fetterman. No, it's Bernie Sanders. It's an anti-Fetterman ad. Yeah. It's Bernie Sanders and AOC and Pelosi, and they found the worst photos possible, put a filter on it, so they're all
there's the one where it's AOC laughing, and they add a in the background.
So good. I love it.
So I love that shit.
Hate it and love it at the same time. I hate it because I hate it because of the sheer repetition.
Yeah, of course.
I love it because look at it. I say it all the time. If you don't know who you're voting for, and then these commercials kind of push you in one way or another, I don't think you have the right. You shouldn't have the right to vote.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
If you're looking at it and you're like, John Fetterman is out of touch. You go, yep. This commercial's right. I'm voting the other way.
And it's never brought to you by the politician. I've said this a million times.
Brought to you by Patriots for repaving roads or something bizarre. It's
what?
They are really good at just picking the one thing that will get those people that to stop though, or they're John Fetterman wants to legalize safe injection sites, and it's okay, every mom that has a kid that is addicted to drugs is now just going to go, why that can't happen, anything but that.
Well, that was I loved when they were opening the safe injection sites in Philly where they were going to plan on, and they put one at Broad and Snyder. They were going to put it. The people in the neighborhood were like, "No, there's going to be heroin addicts. They're going to be selling heroin. You live at Broad and fucking Snyder. It's like one of the biggest heroin fucking corners in South Philadelphia.
Right.
Like, give me a fucking break. They're your kids, you jackasses.
Yeah.
There's going to be people coming from all over the place. They're going to be coming here. They're your kids. They live in your basement."
Being an ex-junkie, I was actually considering debating part of that with you, but then as soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, you're 100% fucking right. I'm looking at the people that are complaining, and I'm like, yeah, you're right.
They're your people.
They're your
I don't want them near me.
You see Fetterman too. He like can't. If you talk to him, he can't understand it because of a stroke.
Because of the stroke.
It's fucking terrifying. Like another one of these guys.
It's a shame. It's a shame that that this is. Well, first of all, everybody that's young.
I don't even care. I just laugh at it. I'm just like
anybody that's young is just vilified. Like that's one of the one things that like is very strange about politics and in any aspect in this country is that like if you're a young person, well, aren't you? You got to be over 60.
Yeah, old people.
You can't be president unless you're over 60. What? Because I know some people over 60 and fucking their heads are wired to their assholes backwards. I don't get it.
Yo, remember that very real video of Joe Biden going, "I wake up and sometimes I don't know what day it is." Commercial that kept playing over and over again. That was nice shit.
There are two, that one, and then of course my favorite of all time was the Vince Mazzeo, who was a politician in North Jersey, and he apparently whited something out on a piece of paper, and he couldn't really answer why he did it, and the ad he's literally going, but it's a video of him. It's not like doctored in any way.
The white out.
He's
white out.
Yeah, what?
White out. White out.
Your time is up, sir.
Choked on his tongue for 30 seconds.
This has nothing to do with wrestling, so let's just keep talking about it. I was in the car today, and they were talking about Trenton politics, local politics in Trenton, how the city council, or whatever they call it up in Trenton, and the mayor are fighting constantly, and they have audio tape of them fighting. And oh my God, they're just screaming. It's like a Skype video, so it sounds like a Skype video, like just how this podcast sounds. It's just like, you're a piece of shit. And they're screaming, and they're using slurs. Like the one woman's a black woman, and the guy's gay, so they're just throwing every fucking slur at each other. You're just like, what the fuck is going on, people?
These are our finest, yeah.
These are the best of the best. This is what we said. You know what?
These are the psychos that were like, you know what? I'd like to be a leader. I volunteer myself.
Yeah, to be the lightning rod of the shit storm of all time.
Yeah. By the way, I figured out, we were talking a couple weeks ago about how sports fans were easily made fun of, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that conversation?
Of course.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it in the shower, of course, while I was touching myself. I think it's like the general toxic masculinity associated with sports fans. The screaming, the mansplaining. I was thinking about this the other day. Why are sports fans so put down upon? Because I'm seeing a lot more of them now that the sports teams are good. All of a sudden they came out of the woodwork and they're everywhere, wearing red and wearing green. I think that's what it is. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's absolutely what it is the annoying part of it. I think it's just, I don't know, everything just goes in a full circle where it's like, okay, we all have absorbed that point. It's still annoying for you to say fucking sports ball and like mock it. And then like, okay, you still don't like sports. I still don't care. I still do. But the conversation just has to keep going on because the sports seasons keep going on, and it just kind of has hit that wall. I don't know if I have anything to add.
No, there isn't. I was thinking about why they're easy targets. But also, it's the old, just let people enjoy things type of mentality. Like if someone wants to root for a fucking baseball team, let fucking root for it. What do you care? Because what are you sitting there reading you're reading Jane Eyre, and somebody comes over and be like, that book stinks. You stink for reading that book. Like, grow up. Chris, thoughts on Jane Eyre?
Jane Eyre.
I just finished that book, actually. It's sitting over on my desk.
Listener?
Closed.
No,
I don't think I've ever even actually seen it, held it. Well, also, you have the amount of sports fans. It's yeah. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I had some grand point. I don't have shit. What are you talking about?
I feel like it's definitely fun. Like when the teams are good, it's undeniably more fun for the city. You got more annoying people come out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, annoying people are going to be annoying no matter what. It's not like people.
Fucking weirdo.
There's nobody you really know. Actually, there's one that I know, but he's not obnoxious. He just he has a running commentary through the entire game, but he's not obnoxious about it. Like he's not a dickhead, but he's kind of talking to the TV like he's coaching, and that could be a little annoying. But at the same time, he's doing it almost to himself.
I would have.
Well, no. What you want to do is this, and what you want to do right here is this, and what you want to do is here is this. Okay, I gotta go.
You know what you should do? Get him one of those score pads, baseball score pad type thing.
That's like their pacifier.
He does it.
Or get him an actual pacifier so he's quiet.
You've also, I think, just I don't want to say recent because it's been a little bit now. You have expanded on the fan bases. Like when we were growing up, it was a male thing to do, right? And now it's just an everybody thing to do. Everybody gets into sports. The line isn't drawn along gender lines, not a male female thing. So now you just have double the fan base and gives you an opportunity for double the amount of assholes, and also double the content.
My whole theory on the whole thing is that fantasy sports ruined it for everybody.
I agree with that. I've been saying that for years.
Why is that?
Because you have people that are paying attention. You got guys that you root for a team, but you also root for players that you're playing against sometimes. To get this weird like nerdish thing, and there's also no real money involved, as opposed to gambling on football, where there's large sums of money involved. A lot of times with fantasy football, there's not that much money involved.
Well, not only that, you've also made to your point, everybody's obsessed with it because everybody's betting now. You can bet off your phone. You can do sports betting, which is
not everybody does that though.
Dude,
some people are insufferable.
Oh my God, there's so many. Everybody that comes into the bar that I work at has one of the sports betting apps open at all times.
Right. Well, they were probably running. They were probably doing a fucking paper thing back in the day. Now they can do.
No, these are young guys.
Right.
These are young guys. Like
I was young and I gambled when I was young.
I understand that. I'm saying like they're betting on every sporting event all night long.
Right.
I work with guys I know guys who are like, yeah, give me a sec. I got to get my bets in every day of the week.
One of them's on this podcast right now, I think.
Yeah. And also I always tell them, I'm like, first of all, it's not gambling, it's betting. It's sports betting because you have to have money to do it. It's gambling when you could do it you could just call some dude and be like, yeah, give me 10 grand on Cleveland with the points. Yeah, and then when you don't pay, some gorilla shows up to your fucking house and breaks your leg. Rocky Balboa chases you through the fucking, through the port with a stick.
Whatever. DraftKings isn't showing up to your door and you're being like, I don't have the cash, but here's my fucking Rolex.
Yeah, take the title to my truck.
I think there's I think it's a fun thing to do if you're like looking for something to do with your friends. Like that's when I will bet nowadays. If it's like, okay, I have to go to this party or something, I have to sit there for 4 hours. It's like, yeah, sure, let's bet on the fucking Arizona Cardinals game so I have something to talk about with these guys for 3 hours. And that's all that it is. It's like, okay, it's $25. I was going to say too, the other kind of guy that's coming out now, that's the maybe my least favorite kind of sports fan, is the like overly pessimistic, where they're even when they're winning, they're like, I don't see it yet. Like the Phillies are in the NLCS, and there's still guys that I know that are like, I just don't think they're going to get it done. It's like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Like, the whole point of this is the fun. This is now the payoff, the fun part, and you're still being like, at the back end of the rotation, I don't see how they're going to match up against blah 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 blah. And you're like, oh my god, dude, they're going to win, and you're going to be like, yeah, but they didn't win by enough.
It's always something.
When I was a diehard sports fan, like, I was usually pretty right about that stuff. Where, like, if I think the two times, well, I wasn't even a diehard when I was following the Eagles. But when the Eagles and the Phillies won that year, when they went in the playoffs, I was like, ain't no way beating these fucking guys. No way. I mean, I won a bunch of money on the Eagles because I was betting on them.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, no way. No way. No way. These guys are just like the Phillies that one year. I was no fucking way. Nobody was beating that team. But other times where they made the playoffs, I was like, I don't know, man, fucking beyond this guy or that guy, or if they get to this point, I don't know if they have to face this guy. I don't know how I feel about it.
With betting, I think it's different. It's just, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. With betting, I think it's different. It's just like, you could be right 10 times about them losing. Of course, almost everyone loses always. But the one time that you're wrong and it was actually fun and you're being the guy that just was like shitting on it the whole time, it's not worth it.
Yeah, just people enjoy things. That's what it all comes down to, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's where we started.
Yeah. Did we talk about wrestling? Oh, more importantly, I watched I didn't talk about this yet. I watched 2 of the movies on my list. I watched X. Brandon, you saw X, right?
I did, yeah.
That was good. I like that.
Yeah, it's I think I said you could land on either side of it. Either you're not in the mood and it's just going to seem silly, or you're in the mood and it's like ridiculously fun. Yeah.
I was in the mood. I sat down and I laughed my fucking ass off.
See Kid Cudi's big old bird.
Is that who that was? That's Kid Cudi?
Yeah.
Yeah, with that hog.
Porn star.
I had to rewind it. So he comes to the door in this one scene, and the old man's like with the gun. I'm not going to tell you what's going on, but his hog is hanging out. It's in silhouette. The fucking thing looked like a Muppet arm. It was like, ugh. And my wife missed it. I was like, "You see his dick? Look at his dick!" And then we paused it and rewound it so we can get a double look at that big old dick.
It's good down to his knees. It might even be past his knee. It's like a cartoonish.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's still like, that's what the kind of movie it is. Like, just throw in those little things. Like, hey, if you're going to show a dick, make it 22 inches long.
Make it preposterous. Yeah. It was like a starter log in a fucking fireplace. Yeah. It was ridiculous. It was still stiff. Chris, thoughts on Big Fish?
I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say it because it could be misconstrued.
Okay. Now I got to know.
Well, because Jim gave me. Hold on. I don't think I can.
Okay, then don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'll tell you guys later.
Uh-oh.
And I watched Crimes of the Future, which was fucking awesome.
Good.
David Cronenberg, very good. Highly recommend. It's only an hour and a half.
I see you're a Letterboxd guy.
I am a Letterboxd man.
Go ahead, Chris. Sorry if you had a question to ask.
Was it better than David Cronenberg's greatest film, Eastern Promises?
It was pretty good. Is Eastern Promises his? I thought it was the other one.
Yeah.
Eastern. Wait, what's the other one with Viggo Mortensen where he's like?
That's what was the name of that? Where he's the gangster?
Yeah, what is that called?
Something History of Violence.
History of Violence. So it was Cronenberg is Eastern Promises, not History of Violence.
I believe. I'm going to look it up right now, but I believe so. Because
okay. I was talking to Tina about it, my wife. I was talking to her about it, and I had said that History of Violence was a Cronenberg film. I might have been wrong though.
Yeah, it's Eastern Promises.
Eastern Promises.
And you can tell because
it's bitches. I fuck them bitches.
I fucking love that movie.
It's a good movie.
I never saw it.
And the woman who does the voiceover for that, who reads the diary. Because it's all centered around the girl. She dies, and Naomi Watts. Is that who it is?
I don't know. You're looking
Naomi
up,
Watts.
Huh?
I think so. Naomi Watts is the nurse, and she has the diary, and she's trying to figure out who got this girl who's a prostitute from Eastern Europe who got her pregnant. And throughout the movie, somebody is narrating the diary, and the woman who's narrating the diary is Tatiana Mansley, who is the She-Hulk. Now,
that character,
little connected. That's all. Things we've been.
Good one, Brandon. You should check that out. It's about the Russian gangsters, correct? There you go.
Yeah, in London.
Yeah.
have to check that out. I have a letterbox question though, if we have a minute.
Go ahead.
So I see you posting, like you'll post on your Instagram story that you letterbox something, and it's like you shared it from that. But then, so I want to go click it, and I'll be like, oh, what did Jimmy think of this movie? Should I watch it? But then you can't actually click it. So is it one of those things where is it like one of the apps where you don't actually want people to see what you said? Like it's a private review, or is it like one of those, is it something where it is social media and you're like, oh yeah, argue with me about this?
No, have you ever used it?
Only to read other people's things. I don't have it downloaded on my phone, but
yeah, I have it. I just post stuff. It's more of a list for me to. Yeah, it's for people. When I put it on social media, I just want to talk to other people about it. Oh, I saw that movie. That was awesome. Yeah, I like that part. That's it. It's like, oh, I watched this movie, and then if somebody saw it, they'll reach out to me.
Okay.
Or if somebody is curious about my opinion, they'll ask me. I have a couple followers, I guess. Yeah, I go on there pretty regularly, and I post shit. Whenever I watch something, I put it on there. Okay, Chris.
I posted about Werewolf by Night, and somebody reached out to me, and we started talking about, and then we ended up talking about what else we were watching, and what was this, and how we thought about that. So yeah, it's almost like a tool to get a conversation started with people you already know. History of Violence was directed by David Cronenberg as well.
Oh, they both were.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. They both have Vigo in them, and so does Crimes of the Future have Vigo.
Oh, he's in that too.
Yeah. He plays the performance artist who's having
crime. He's the man that commits the crime in the future.
He's a performance artist who has his organs removed. He's growing weird organs, and he has them removed for performance art in the future.
Fuck that. That's just
the future.
That's some
the future is like
weirdness, man.
Yeah, future is like seaside fucking Spain or France. It's like Marseille. That's the future. I'm into it. It's a good movie. I highly recommend. All right. Anything else before we have to talk about wrestling?
Have to.
I think that's like the peak. I was just going to say, I think that's like the peak use of social media nowadays for me, is just like sharing shit that I read or watched and getting people to talk about it. That's the only time I've had fun on there in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I post food. I'm a shit poster for memes, and I post movies. That's it. I'm there for laughs and for discussion. I'm over politics. Give me a fucking break. Who wants to talk about politics anymore? Unless it's
too many people.
Unless it's preposterous, which it always is.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I mean, we were just talking about it. Nowadays, it's like you'll post something about politics. Like, we all know as human beings that shit's wrong. And unless there's some absolute absurdity to what I'm posting, then why even talk about it? You know what I mean?
No, I was at the Phillies on Saturday, and I put up a video of me at the game. And then like 5 people messaged me, "Go Phillies," and I was just like, I'm just gonna delete this. I don't want. What am I supposed to say back? Yeah, go Phillies. Like, I don't care. I don't know why I posted it. Yeah,
you gotta give it a heart. You gotta tap that heart.
Yeah, now they give you options. Greatest invention ever.
Now they give you options though. You can do thumbs up. You can do smiley face. You can do angry. You can do fire.
But they're the ones being nice to me. Like I shared something implying that I want people to engage with it, and then they engage with it, and I'm like, don't message me. Like, I should just not be posting on here.
Just like it.
Aunt Joni is like, Brandon, that's great that you're having a good time. Yeah. Go Phillies. And you're just like, why are you messaging me, you motherfucker?
All right.
I know somebody whose mom comments on everything he posts.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are you're so funny. You know this person too.
You are the most funny person ever.
Thanks, Mom. I didn't delete it. I mean, I would react. I think I would react pretty shittily, but my mom's dead, so there's that. Yeah.
She'd definitely be QAnon it up.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Don't give her that much credit. She's poor. Poor people don't deserve credit.
She's what? What did you say? Repeat it, please. I'm begging you.
You'll have to listen later.
Ah, fuck.
She's poor, and poor people don't deserve credit. That's what she said about you.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to some more fun stuff. All right, real quick. I'm going to talk about Wrestle Princess 3 TJPW show, just because, most importantly, how it affects AEW, which we are forced to watch every week. Shoko Nakajima lost her title to Yuka Sakazaki. How does it affect AEW? We're probably going to get Shoko Nakajima over here, the big kaiju. He's probably going to do a tour over here, which is good. We've seen her live, Chris. She's fun and tiny. She is a tiny little person, like 4'9", and all muscle.
Yes, and she'll probably come here and be like, "Yo, the women here suck. Can't work. I'm going back to Japan." Yeah, like Sakazaki. Like, you guys fucking suck. You work like shit, and you're pushing a fucking miniature Sasquatch foot that moves like molasses, and I don't want to be here anymore. Bye. I want to go home.
Yeah, we'll talk about her. She lost.
Sasquatch foot.
Sasquatch foot.
You're pushing a Sasquatch.
I'm just going to get this out of the way right now.
Here we go. Do it. All right. We're not even to AEW. We're not even close to AEW.
No, it's not.
Do it now.
It's not even AEW. I'm just disgusted with it all. I'm just like, what do we? I'm just fucking disgusted with it.
You know,
it's a job. This has become a job I don't get paid for. Lovely.
I know. I'm trying my best to make it fun, and it's very difficult.
Yeah,
it's very difficult. Start
difficult.
doing brackets again instead of this, because
I
am not stoked. I don't give a shit if like I'm supposed to be stoked because Renee fucking Young is back.
Yeah,
Renee
like what
Moxley.
the fuck? Is she going to be involved in a storyline? Is she wrestling?
I guess she's going to do backstage stuff.
Gonna do backstage shit. Yay! Fuck, man.
Look, I don't want to shit on AEW. It's just I don't care now.
Yeah,
there you go. That's all I got to say about it.
That's it. Who gives
I watch all the fun stuff that I want to watch, and I blow through it, but it's not in fucking English. So how can I convince anybody to watch this? It ain't in English. It's real good. It's real fun, but it's not in English.
And
all the English wrestling fucking stinks.
It takes a long time to fucking wrap your head around who's who and what's what when it's not in fucking English.
Right.
You know.
Luckily, this show, the Wrestle Princess 3 had English commentary, but it's not great English commentary. It's fun. It's like watching it with your friends. It's not like they're giving you much of a description. They give you mild description, but most of it's just like they're yucking along with us as shit's going on. It's just like watching. We're watching Halloween Havoc for Halloween.
Oh boy,
it'll be like watching Halloween Havoc.
That'll be fun.
Again. Yeah.
What do you think it was? What was the jump the shark AEW moment, or was there a one and we just feigned interest until we couldn't anymore?
No, I think the big moment is when all the backstage stuff came forward. It kind of burned it out on me. Where you're just like, all right, you just lit the candle at both ends, and now we're just kind of. It's not that the wrestling's bad. It's not bad. I don't know. You know, it's kind of like when something happens, like you're having a really good time somewhere, and then you see something skeevy going on, and you've always had a good time doing this thing, but then you saw some skeeve going on over there, and you're like, I don't really want to be associated with the skeeve anymore. I'm going to stop coming here. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like to me.
I'm going to give you an example of what that is right there. It's not storyline. It's not person, the actual talent in the ring. It's nothing having to do with the production value of the show. It's nothing having to do with anything that's going on in AEW right now. Or anything that will go in the future. The odds of me going or being excited to go to another AEW show have been greatly fucking diminished. And this is akin to what you were just saying, Jim. The odds of me going to another AEW show are greatly diminished because that guy was being a racist behind us.
No, I get that too.
I kind of don't want to go anymore. But what I'm saying is like you have a good time. What's that?
You're attracting the wrong kind of people. It used to be fun, and now it's with just like everything. A lot of times it's real fun when it's niche, and then when it gets popular, you're attracting fucking dicks. We just talk about sports fans. We just explained why sports fans have gotten progressively worse over the years. This is one of the reasons. With popularity brings fucking dickheads. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I mean, like you were saying, like it was like a lot of fun. We always had a hang. We had a good time with the guys we went to. Good time taking the train down, yucking it up on the walk back, making fun of people to ourselves. Right? Like having a good time, not being dicks, enjoying the show, being respectful to the people around us, and enjoying ourselves. And might I add, because I'm a big sucker, spending a lot of fucking money. And I never had a problem with it. It was always something to look forward to. And then you saw the scummy things happen, like what happened behind us. And it was just like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. I really don't want. I mean, even like I was saying with and it leans towards, I never gave a shit. We talk about it all the time. We said it all the time. I never gave a shit how the card's going to be. You guys come over to the house and watch wrestling and we have fun. That's all that matters. It's worth the money.
We end up losing interest midway through the show and start yucking it up. Remember the one time I was pissed off the entire subcontinent of Asia by posting a video of me licking Jesus Christ.
Oh, yes, yes.
I got like it's the most interactions I've had on Instagram Reels.
You were gonna die.
People were sending me all kinds of messages.
That was great.
But we had fun.
Again.
We were laughing our asses off. Brandon, you got any thoughts on this?
I love you.
I love you. I think that was it for me. Was probably like the second time we went over to Chris's for a pay-per-view, and like one time we all got together and we made it fun for ourselves, but we fizzled out pretty quickly, and then it happened again, and I'm like, this is just us hanging out. That's fun. There's no payoff at these big quarterly events, and I think that's when it kind of fizzled for me, because you can kind of shut your mouth and try to get through some shitty cable weeks if you're like, well, but there's still fun things happening every quarter. But when I kind of was convinced that that's not even going to happen, I think that's when I fizzled. The Ace Steel thing was probably, to me, actually one of the more entertaining things that's happened lately.
Can I'm going to ask you real quick, off the cuff. Don't think too much about it. I just want you to just jostle your memory really fast. In the time that we've been doing this podcast, what is the
100
greatest
episodes, 99 episodes? Good.
That's right. What is the greatest moment in AEW history?
Brandon, I'll let you go first.
You know what's funny? The first thing I'm definitely missing 10 things. The first thing that popped in my head that we had fun with was the Shaq match when he got ambulanced away.
Okay.
All right, can I give you mine?
Yep. Do
you know where I'm going to go?
I hope I do, because I think we're
probably
100%. It's 100%.
Oh yeah.
It's
the Shaq one was real good too. No, I'm glad you brought up Shaq, because that was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
that
I forgot about that. But the Shaq one was fantastic. But it was Saki and Nake, and it was us not even together. We were texting each other like, what the fuck is going on?
Take the snake.
I had tears running down my face.
So did I.
Hard.
And then the podcast afterwards, remember, I was ordered to shut up because I couldn't stop. So I guess what I'm saying is that, like, you have you ever really had the moments wrestling wise that have kind of enveloped you? Maybe not. I mean, maybe if we sat here and we dug, we could find them.
CM Punk coming back was a big deal.
Yeah, but that soured real quick, because who's the top of the totem pole when it comes to this whole shit that soured me on the three of us on the EW? It's him.
We can theorize all we want, but it seems a little strange that all this weird shit started happening once Cody left. As if the only professional in the fucking building was Cody. A little strange. Before you know it, they're fist fighting in the back, and Ace Steel's biting people. I do encourage people to bite people more often. It's very entertaining. But hey, news for AEW. We're just talking about AEW right now, but John Moxley signs a 5-year deal. He's going to be there for 5 years. He signed the Sting deal, where it might not be here in 2 years, but he's making money for 5, so good for him.
Yeah, I mean, but like that also speaks to what are we doing here, right? What you're going to give somebody money for 5 years, and you don't know if they're going to be there the whole time. They may just bail out on you, and you're still going to have to pay them. I mean, I guess you're seeing a return on investment. You're looking at it like, if he leaves in 2, I still get my return on investment, so it doesn't matter if I keep paying him because I've made my money. So
no. What do you mean leave in 2?
Well, I don't understand what you mean.
The company might close in 2 years.
Oh, the company might close
5.
in 2 years.
His contract's 5 years.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean,
it ain't going nowhere. AEW's going nowhere.
It's a privately what killed WCW. If you're going to draw the parallel, is the network owned it.
Right.
So when they got rid of it, they had no place to show the show, and they fucking, and they own the library, and they wouldn't sell that because it would have stayed alive if they had sold Bischoff the library. They just wanted to sell him the rings and the talent. And he was like, I got no TV time. What the fuck? I don't want it. But it's the same thing. They're producing a TV show. It might not be on TBS, but it'll be around. Somebody will buy it.
We also thing I'm starting to realize too with going to AEW, since they don't have house shows, is that you go to an AEW show, you're watching a TV taping, which is honestly, I've had a lot of fun going to see SmackDown and Raw before. We have a blast, but that's a TV. You're watching a TV show being created, and it drags along. Those commercial timeouts are rough. It's the reason why I don't like football live. So many, so much commercials. It's so boring.
Yeah.
For peaks of 8 minutes of excitement, and then all of a sudden it's like, we got to go to backstage, and everybody's standing there like
some weird, awkward interview.
Yeah.
That you usually don't watch when you're watching at home.
Right. You don't see it.
You go fucking go to the they're talking to fucking whoever in backstage.
The last time we went to Raw, I said afterwards, like, it's just like, I'm never going to, I can't do it. I'll do a house show if they come to town, but they don't come to Philly for house shows anymore.
Mm-mm.
I think the most fun I had was that House of Hardcore we went to. Was that what it was? That the Muda was at with the convention. I think maybe because it was smaller, because we could just kind of fart around. If we wanted something, we could just go get it. Like Chris said, make jokes to each other about whatever's going on. When we go to AEW, it's like, if I want to get a hot dog, it's like a 45-minute fucking thing, and it's just such a sweat. People are being dickheads around you.
Yeah, that's another thing. AEW runs these smaller arenas that are understaffed, so the lines are around the fucking around the building everything to get a beer, for a hot dog. One time we had pretzels for dinner.
And ice cream,
ice cream and pretzels, because they were the shortest lines. It's like, if it wasn't getting a beer, I gave up on it.
Yeah, like you have to provide something to me, right? I bought a ticket to get here. It's not an honor to be here. We made a trade, right? And the trade is, I give you money, you give me a show, right? It wasn't like you said, very limited here, and we're going to allow you to come in. No, I got a ticket. The trade-off is money for a wrestling show. And if I can't have because like, me, like I'm not one of these guys that goes to the movies and, I'm not buying popcorn, it's too expensive. I'm like fucking loaded up with all kinds of candy and popcorns and giant sodas. It's a fucking experience. I want to be able to enjoy myself. And I can't even, like, you don't even, like, when you go to those shows, not so much a Raw, because a Raw's at Wells Fargo. It's completely fucking staffed. They have to. They're a union. They're Aramark. It's going to have all those people are going to be there, even if they're standing around doing nothing. The bathrooms, plenty of bathrooms. You don't have to wait in line unless you're leaving or coming in when everybody's kind of moving at the same time. You go to an AEW show, they don't have enough people. They got one merch stand. You can't, even to take a leak is like, oh man, do I do this now? Like, what's the match coming up? Because I got to go to the bathroom. Oh, it's this. I guess I'll have to wait along with everybody else. So you decide, fuck it, I'm going to go and I'm going to miss this part of this match because I got to take a piss so bad. It's not an enjoyable experience. They're not putting on a great show. Everything is, like you said, it's a slog of a TV tape. Not to mention you're getting dark elevation beforehand.
Which
you're
a lot
getting
of times
dynamite
is
afterwards.
more exciting and more entertaining because it's quick and it's going to be edited later.
Right.
So you get match after match after match. AEW, the main cards, there's commercials, and they got to cut for commercials. Rampage is the same way. Rampage is real fast. Like, you are there for, an extra 45 minutes or whatever. Because they're not recording. They're recording it and then they're cutting it later.
Right.
But Dynamite, it's tough, man. It's a full 2 hours, and you're only getting about an hour and 15 of fucking show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a lot of times the card's all fucked up too, where it's like the thing that I actually want to see is happening at 8:45, and then it's like, so I have to time that out. I don't know when it is, because the main event usually isn't going to be the most interesting thing that's going on there in the show.
Very rarely is it with them, which is odd too. Like you said, it's very rarely. I don't mind the hot start when you're watching on TV. But it does affect the live. You got me on too much of a high, and then we move on to the next thing, and now I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh God, you better. Perfect example. We talked about this 2 weeks ago when we went to the Pet Shop Boys in New Order. Pet Shop Boys brought me up so high that the first couple songs in New Order, I was kind of like, oh. The difference being it was fucking New Order, so they were fantastic, and it brought me right back up to that level I wanted to be at. You're not getting that in that type of show, right? You're going from this to something involving Q and T, Marshall Alex Jones.
That's right.
It was a bad example because he's actually been very funny recently, but like all these other guys, that I don't care how many flips Bandito does. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And you're going to give me these Ring of Honor guys. I love Samoa Joe, but he's the Ring of Honor dude now. Who cares? Jay Lethal, who gives a shit? It's fucking dead brand. I love Brandon's analogy. Toys R Us and the Macy's. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, that's what it is. Should we talk about AEW then? Fuck it. No, let's talk about New Japan. And we'll
go the way we were going to go.
Yeah, I want to talk about New Japan because New Japan's been a little fun, and I don't know who's booking it because it's kind of weird. Who's Your Daddy match? Shingo Takagi, King of Wrestling, defends his title against El Phantasmo. The loser has to call the other person his daddy. Shingo Takagi wins. El Phantasmo calls him his daddy and then punches him in the fucking dick. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, this is very non-New Japan. I haven't seen anything like this. I don't know what the context of this match was or where it came from. Chris Charlton seemed pretty excited about the whole thing. He was really leaning into the Who's Your Daddy. He wanted that payoff from El Phantasmo. Pretty funny though. I mean, the match was the match, but you have this other goofy thing going on throughout it, which is just so strange in that atmosphere.
Do you have a binky? He feeds him the binky at the end.
He's got a custom T-shirt made that says "Shingo is my daddy." Yeah. And then he hugs Daddy. He hugs Daddy. He goes down to his balls, and he's just on his knees hugging him. Go ahead, Chris.
Chris, good.
This was fucking stupid.
I love that.
I was just like, I don't know. Maybe it was just some kind of personal thing that I have with the term "Who's Your Daddy." It's fucking old. I remember when the Yankees were chanting it at fucking Pedro Martinez. That was 2009. I mean, come on, man. Like, who looked at this and said, "Oh, you know what we'll call it? This will be relevant." And then the addition of the binky and the fact that I had to look at the words "Who's Your Daddy" on the top left-hand corner of my fucking screen the entire time. Get the fuck out of here! It was so stupid. Oh, it was so fucking dumb. It took me right out of it. I mean, the match was good. I love Shingo. But fuck, it was so dumb. And then I was like, okay, so they ended it. He said Phantasma tells him he's his daddy. Then we're just gimmicks are flying all over them. Get the fuck out of here. So dumb.
I loved it. There you go. I'm glad I made you watch it. How about this?
I think just because it was you, Jimmy, and I knew that you were like sat through this whole thing and you're like, you guys got to see this. I was able to get a kick out of it.
It was goofy. I like Goofy. Goofy's fun. That's why I watched DDT. Jim Cornette's very upset about that DDT clip I sent you, by the way.
I was gonna say this. I'll say it now. I don't want to start a big thing, but fuck it. I find it amazing, fucking ridiculous. How many people are angry with DDT?
It's fucking bizarre.
It's bizarre. If you didn't show me DDT, I wouldn't know it existed, and it would have no influence on me. Right. If you don't watch it, it's not like your house is on fire and you're sitting in it ignoring it.
Right.
It's a fucking TV show from the other side of the world.
Right. It's not like it's more like you're sitting on your couch watching television and there's something on another channel and you're not watching it. So how would you know?
You're cursed. Yeah, right. Like, what the fuck? Like, you're watching some enthralling fucking television show or movie, and you're saying, yeah, but the other channel's got Tom and Jerry. This fucking TV, it's old.
or the people that are like, this isn't real cinema. How could you watch Marvel? Do you watch Marvel? No, I don't. What the fuck? What do you care?
Who cares?
What do you care?
Unbelievable.
I don't watch Marvel. I'm not sitting here saying, like, that stuff stinks. It's ruining film. I don't fucking care.
Don't watch it. What I was going to say was, that and the fact that it's almost like a standing rule for me. If Jim Cornette hates it, it's probably fucking awesome.
It's probably fun
because he's,
weirdo.
He's fucking. We're gonna put a coal miner's glove on a pole and just stick it on a ladder, and then there'll be a check for $1,000 on a ladder. It's like, all right, Tennessee. I mean, fuck, right? Like, what the fuck? Like,
miner's glove match.
Who gives a shit? Mister, I've been trying to resurrect the fucking Rock and Roll Express since 1990. Give me a break.
Brandon, anything?
No, I'm with you guys. I'm still laughing at that Cornette fucking impression.
I don't even remember what he talks like.
Okada, who decided he doesn't have to put up his briefcase because he's Okada and he shouldn't have to. Versus Jonah in a complete homage to who's the dead guy? Inoki versus Big Van Vader. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, pretty fucking sick, honestly. I mean, pro wrestling is so strange because it's who's the chosen one and who's not is such a subjective thing from a small group of people that these guys like Jonah that were just on the street for months, all of a sudden now I saw he didn't get pinned the entire G1, and now he's having crazy matches with Okada in this like Inoki honoring thing and looking good doing it, shocking the crowd. Pretty fun stuff.
I do like it's like the contrast. We need contrast in wrestling. So you got Okada, who's like, he is the quote unquote chosen one, the star, the face of the company, versus a guy who is the big dude. So he's the giant. And he's trying to overcome this giant. He's giving him drop kicks. He's doing the old arms waving thing. He's not falling over. I love that shit. I love that type of stuff. Where he's so big and fat that he can't be knocked over. I love it. We need monsters. We need more monsters in professional wrestling. I appreciate
the clothesline, like a simple clothesline crushing Okada.
Right. I like guys like Wardlow that can do the flips and all that shit as well as being gigantic. They don't have to though. Just being Wardlow, being a giant, it gives the impression in the ring that they are unstoppable. Although we all know in real life, giant fat guys don't really last that long. But still, it's in professional wrestling, fake life. It's fun. Chris, thoughts?
I thought this match was really good. I like the Okada. First of all, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, for me right now, watching this match made me realize again, because we haven't gotten really good New Japan in so long. Watching this match made me realize again that Okada is probably one of the best storytellers in professional wrestling. I mean, he's got to be. He doesn't do much. Everything he does matters. It's methodical. It's planned out. It's not just a bunch of shit to make you go, wow. And the simple fact that he starts the match with this idea in his head that he's going to take this guy down at his own game. He's going to overpower this giant powerhouse. He's going to slam him. And then as the match starts, none of this is working. Fuck it, I'm changing everything up and I'm taking out his legs. And this is he's got a game plan. The game plan goes to shit. He changes it up because he's the best. And this isn't me saying this is my opinion of him. I'm saying like as the character, he's the best professional wrestler in the world. Right. So, all right, well, what I was doing before isn't working. We're going to switch up the game plan. And it really fucking worked. This was excellent. I was really, and I was, it makes me happy to see, like you said, it makes me happy to see Jonah doing like, he's unique in New Japan. And if you're going to be unique, then you can't just look different. You have to work different than everybody else. And he manages to do that, bringing back this old school monster. Right. And I was really excited by this. I enjoyed watching him. And like I said, Jonah was always somebody that was kind of like, this dude's got, like, he's going to be good. Like, put this guy in spots that he's going to be good, because he was very strong in NXT in the spot, if I'm not mistaken, where NXT was kind of on the slip. It was kind of going down. Yeah, Jonah kind of was pretty good for them. And then he left. They moved him up to SmackDown. Then he never did anything. He disappeared. Why you would make that guy disappear? I mean, and
like
look,
him, that's why.
That's the Vince oh, wait a minute, he's big and he's strong and he looks legitimate. He looks like he's tough, but he's fat.
Well, he's a fat
He
guy.
doesn't have a
but
6-pack, so he can't fight.
I guarantee I know what this is. Vince. He brings him up. Oh, he's kind of fat. Where's he from? Oh, he's from Australia, right? Australia. Oh, he's not from Samoa?
New Zealand,
Yeah,
didn't
I think he's Australian.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't need him. He's not Samoan? Nah, I'm not doing it. I guarantee that's what goes through Vince's head when it comes to big guys that are dark skinned with black curly hair.
Right.
Like fat guys.
Well, I mean, and he's not a member of the family.
Right.
Right. Like and look, he's already got a bunch of those guys that he has some kind of loyalty to, and they've been working together forever. So I understand that.
I get it.
So it's like, yeah. So he's like, oh, you're not one of them. I mean, even when years ago, when Ring of Honor had their initial split up, and before I guess they got bought by Sinclair and all that stuff happened, a bunch of those guys left, and CM Punk left, but Samoa Joe stayed. And when asked,
that's I've heard this story
before. He wasn't a member. He was the wrong member of the. He didn't have the right last name. Right. Yeah, he was just a fat Samoan. He was not. Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Vince.
All
right. Final thoughts on this, Brandon?
No, I'm good.
Yeah. TV tournament time. So the TV title has been revealed. It looks like a giant television. Rules are 15-minute time limits. It's open weight, so anybody can enter. I caught a couple of these matches, but I didn't have much time. But I'll go through some of the results. David Finlay defeated Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Alex Zane lost to Zack Sabre Jr. Yoshihashi beat Jeff Cobb. Aaron Hanare lost to Evil. Sanada beat Taichi in what people are really praising as a very good match. And they're also praising Hiroki Goto lost to Kenta. We still got a couple of matches left. We got Ren Narita, who's back. He's on the main roster. He's back for the United States, facing off against Tomohiro Ishii and Toriano versus the Great Okan. And so far, it's been pretty entertaining. I did not catch the matches that people are going crazy about, the Sanada Taichi one and the Goto and Kenta. There's something about the match, knowing that it's 15 minutes. They're fast, man. They work fast and hard, and it's fun. It's almost like a juniors match worked with some of the heavyweights, which is pretty cool. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I think New Japan is probably the most well-equipped of the promotions from my perspective to have a TV title. One, because they have like guys like Okada, where you're like, they're not going to fucking lose to Great Okan anytime in the next 5 years, but I still want to see Great Okan, more of him in meaningful spots. So this can get good, and we'll see where it goes. Surprised to see Jeff Cobb dropping to Yoshihashi.
He's got more important shit to do, I'm sure. Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, until you went down, I was ambivalent about this whole TV title, and then you went down that list of guys that were in it. I didn't even really look at the thing. I was too involved in what the title looked like. But when you go through that, first of all, there's only two names that tell me that they need to win this, and it will be absolute brilliance if one of these guys wins this, and they'll be able to make this title mean something and be extremely fun to watch. And that is either Zack Sabre Jr. or Kenta. Either one of them, that's who you put this title on, in my opinion, because these two just give you a shit ton of joy between the two of them. So I would like to see that. And I'm a big fan of the real quick match, right? We're a match every week or whatever it is, because they don't have TV, right? They still don't have a TV show.
They have like a TV assay. Well, they promise to show this defended on Access and on New Japan World on New Japan Strong.
Okay.
So we're getting matches.
Okay.
It's going to be defended on TV.
But I think the TV championship is, it's really old school. It's kind of a really good idea.
It's fun.
Especially since like the territory days. But those two guys, Kenta and Zack Sabre Jr. are primed. They're made for something like this, so they can be excruciatingly annoying with this fucking thing. Especially Kenta. I mean, either of them. Yeah, it's going to be great. And I would assume that hopefully one of those guys wins it. I'm sure whoever wins it will be a lot of fun to watch these matches, but those guys will give you so much more as far as the match itself and then the shit that goes on backstage.
It's got to be David Finlay. Oh, by the way, guys, I forgot to show this off. I got the Kenta book.
Read us a passage out of it, Jim.
Yeah,
I will. Look, it's got all kinds of pictures in there. Look how handsome he was, or is. There. Hold on. Let me get to the first page. Ejimine. That means, how you doing? There you go.
All right.
I can read that.
I love it. I
The
love
rest
it.
might take
That's
a while.
So good. That's so good. It's
pretty cool.
Do what I did. Google Translate, turn on the camera, and it'll read that whole thing off for you. You'll just be reading it through the camera on your phone.
Look at how happy he is with his busted arm in NXT.
It's
very cool. It's a very cool little book. It's got reversible covers too. So you got this cover, evil cover. You got good guy Kenta, I guess.
No boy.
I'm into it. I think it's pretty cool.
You think you'll attempt to read it, or it's just a
Yeah, I'm
collectible?
gonna. Look, humble on the outside, confident on the inside.
I'll tell you
I'll give it
something.
a shot. It might take me fucking 20 years to read it, but still.
One of the greatest moments I've ever seen live was Kenta wrestling up the stage and then going through the wrong door and going, "Oh shit," as he almost fell off the stage into the soundboard. Like 10 feet from us. I hear, and I see Kenta come through the curtain, the wrong curtain, and almost step into the soundboard and go, "Oh shit," and then run away. Dude fucking rules.
Yeah, he does. What else we got? Okay. AEW. Do we talk about AEW? No, real quick. I wanted to talk about the Wrestle Kingdom card because they added some stuff. We're getting close, man. So we're definitely getting the new G. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's because this website's German. So Wrestle Kingdom 17, right? It is 17. Yeah. We are getting the New Japan World TV title match. That's going to be settled there. We're getting the IWGP Women's title match, which will be settled there as well. We'll talk about that when we get closer to it. IWGP Junior Heavyweight title 4-way match. Taiji Ishimori, who's the champ, versus El Desperado versus Hiromu Takahashi versus Master Wato. Of course, we know Jay White versus Kazuchika Okada is the main event for the heavyweight title. Brandon, thoughts?
It just hit me right as you started talking. Holy shit, we're 10 weeks away now?
Something like him.
Pretty much. Should start to build pretty
10 weeks.
quickly here. Glad Master Wato will make an appearance. That's confirmed.
Master Wato will be in this.
We already know we're in. If Wato's in, we're in.
The pain in that one.
Yeah,
4-way match with Master Wato in it. Oh, should be fun. I'm excited.
Are we back to one night yet?
Yeah, we're one night.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. And AEW's already stated that they're probably not going to be able to send anybody over because it's a Tuesday this year. And AEW does Wednesday filming. So
and they also
send everybody over.
That's also that's one of their like bash at the beach or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's always one of their nights.
Yeah, which we have definitely been so excited for and not been disappointed.
Well, I mean, they're excited for them. You know how they do those like title Tuesday or whatever the fuck
New Year's Smash.
New Year's Smash.
All right, let's talk about AEW New Year's Smash. AEW Dynamite. First of all, Omega and the Bucks are off the intro. They're not on they're not at the beginning of the show anymore.
I didn't even notice that. Holy shit.
Yep. Ariel Helwani, he interviewed Tony Khan. Caught a lot of heat for not being too aggressive with Tony Khan, of course. It's wrestling journalism, which is barely journalism. But this guy's asked a couple questions, tried to get some answers out of him, and he basically said, "No, I can't talk about that," which means litigation. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, I guess that is what it means. Huh? Fucking litigation. I don't know. I mean, I don't have too much right now. I still think it's funny that these guys are the EVPs or somehow that negotiated zero ownership of the company, so they can pretty quickly here just get bounced right the fuck out and be on the street.
Chris?
Yeah, I saw that Ariel Helwani got a lot of grief for that. One of the things that I found funny is that, like, is it just wrestling fans and the mentality? Like, that I'm interviewing you.
Let's give a little.
I want to be able to interview you again.
Mm-hmm.
Am I just going to keep asking you questions that I know have now developed a pattern that you're not going to answer? That does a disservice to the interviewee. It causes animosity between the interviewee and the interviewer. The interviewer's just running around in circles, not getting anywhere, and it causes a complete disservice to the people that are listening. Oh, I can't talk about that. I can't talk about that. I can't talk about that. That makes for a shitty interview. So changing directions in an interview is actually the sign of somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
And if he's not answering the questions, then you got to change what you're asking. Right.
He did ask 5 different versions of the same question to try to get an answer that probably was not prompted ahead of time that he wasn't allowed to ask.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then not even not allowed. Not maybe you don't ask me this. I can't answer. Don't waste your time.
Right.
Right. So
he asked the questions. The answers he got was he didn't get some pro wrestling runaround answer. The answer was I can't talk about that.
You can't talk about that right now. Can't talk about this right now.
There's full litigation going on between these. And we all know CM Punk is a very litigious man. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is. So
he likes to sue. He likes being in court.
I don't even like getting a letter telling me. Yeah, real punk rock, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't even like getting a letter telling me I have to go to court.
Oh God, I hate it. God, I hate being a witness. Oh my God, I hate everything about working in that building. You had to lose your cell phone. The one time I went in and they fucking didn't even tell me that I wasn't supposed to be there, and I'm sitting there, and I just threw out the subpoena. I never went back for a robbery. I was a witness to a robbery. Why help? Make it easy for me. Why would I want to help if it's hard?
To inform our listeners here who may not know that in Philadelphia, when you have to go to court, you have to go to the Criminal Justice Center most times. And the Criminal Justice Center they have a system of sending all the defendants, all the plaintiffs, all the victims, and all the cops up in the same fucking elevator. Right? So there's a good chance that if you're a witness to a crime or you're the victim of a crime, the person who is accused of committing said crime could be standing right next to you in a closed space.
I think it's a little different for like criminal the way it is because that guy's usually in jail or escorted in.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I know. I was a victim of a criminal case and I never went up in the elevator with the guy, but I'm pretty sure we could have because he wasn't in jail. And from what I understand, I've heard from people that I know who are attorneys, the lawyers used to be in those elevators as well. And the lawyers would get up in the court and they'd all be late because you can't get in there before a certain time. Right. And there's this giant backlog of people. And the judges would pull the lawyers inside and scream at them for being late. Like, dude, you came in a private elevator.
No,
so you don't have to do that anymore. But
yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you don't have to do that anymore. But it is, oh God, man, I'll never go back into that building again. From now on, from this day forward is what? I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not trying to help.
Yeah, so
I'm trying to help the stupid system.
I remember when I was hit with a bottle, and I was on the stand and I told my story and they moved to trial and I went in for the preliminary trial. I went in for the trial. It turned out to be discovery that day, so I didn't have to be there. And I went because nobody called me. And I said, hey, look, I said, I'm here. And they said, oh, they didn't call you. You're not supposed to be here today. And look, I'm not going to get mad. Just get up and leave. There's no point in getting angry in a courtroom. Just leave. We left, and my wife said to me, I can't believe they didn't call you. That's bullshit. And I said, did you see that stack of paperwork that DA had? I said, I don't want that fucking job. Let's go get breakfast.
Right.
Now we're just dressed up for breakfast. I'm in a shirt and tie to go to breakfast. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what happened. But after the fact, that got settled out of court. That got settled. I found out he got probation and all kinds of shit. I didn't have to go back to court. And I had a friend of mine who was like, look, we'll sue him in civil court for assaulting you. And I thought about that subpoena hanging on my refrigerator again. And I was like, nah, we're good. I just want to go home. I want to go home.
Could have gotten like $20.
I wouldn't have gotten shit. He didn't have anything.
Right. Any thoughts on the legal system?
I know,
That's
I
a
know,
loaded
but
question.
yeah, I have plenty of thoughts. But same deal. A couple friends had a gun pulled on them not far from where you work, and it's just they just drag it out so much and make it so difficult. And then they start to pressure you too. Like I remember they were saying they're like, these guys might only get probation for this, and you're still going to be living down the street from them. So this is a real risk that you have to think about. There's just every reason in the world not to follow through when something bad happens to you. I think they ended up just dropping it too. It's like, what's the fucking point?
Right. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about the fun stuff. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go through this card and then we'll talk about it at the end. Luchasaurus versus Jack Perry. I have no idea who won. Tag team match. Samoa Joe and Wardlow versus The Factory. Nick Comoroto doesn't look like Nick Comoroto anymore. He looks a little different. Billy Gunn lost to Swerve Strickland in a scissor off. Ring of Honor World Title. Chris Jericho defeated Bryan Danielson. Did I think Daniel Garcia interfere in this? Is that true? I don't know. Tag team match.
Yes.
Hikaru Shida and Tony Storm defeated Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. Britt Baker ate the pin. So that means that Hikaru Shida is facing Tony Storm either this week or he's facing her for the title. There's pretty good fucking promo out there, but since she got the pin, she's losing. And AEW All Atlantic title. Pac lost to Orange Cassidy. Brandon, thoughts?
Yeah, lots of stuff. The Jungle Boy story arc is one of the ones that just makes me feel like this shouldn't be on every week because it's just taking way too long. You know where it's going, and I just couldn't. It's fizzled out 10 times over by the time we're going to get to any payoff there. Nick Comoroto, I guess, becoming Scott Hall now that he's dead and he can't say anything about it. That's what that looked like there.
He looks like Scott Hall.
Other than that, if you saw Bryan Danielson and Chris Jericho 2 times, this happened a third. It was the same thing a third time. That's pretty much everything that was interesting. Oh, Samoa Joe and Wardlow was kind of out of nowhere. That could be a fun tag team. Speaking of size boys, Ward Joe.
And then FTR came out. Oh, that's right. And then they brought out the 10-man in his hometown to lukewarm applause. The 10-man stinks,
I didn't
man.
see it.
I truly forgot about that guy.
He fucking stinks. Like, we're not alone on this. Dude, nobody gave a shit when he walked out. It was like, all right.
Hometown guy.
He's back.
I saw him and I was like, it never crossed my mind once where he was while he was going. Go ahead.
I guess he's a good guy now. Killing people with chairs has become fashionable. He's a good guy.
Yeah, listen,
Chris,
killing people with chairs has been fashionable since La Parka did it in the 90s. So I don't want to hear any shit.
True chairman of the board.
He's the only chairman of the fucking board. Yeah, I don't care. Also, the the Daniel Garcia plotline has officially become a fucking Hideo Kojima video game, which I don't understand what is going on. Like, it might give me some joy to take part in this. Hideo Kojima, in case you don't know, is the creator of Metal Gear.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun to play, but the storyline makes no fucking sense. And this is where we're at here. Is he friends? Is he bad guys? Were they doing this just to set up Bryan Danielson? If so, why? What are we doing here? He hit Bryan Danielson with a belt, and now he's back with Jericho. This was all was this all a big ruse to get a lukewarm at best feud fired up that nobody, it's just like, what are we fucking doing, man? Like, what's going on? I don't know. It's when when I would play Metal Gear, and there were parts of the storyline where I would have to put the controller down and lay down in bed and just chill for a few minutes while it went through some convoluted storyline that made no fucking sense, and then I would get back up and I would replay the game and sneak around and choke people out. So, yeah, bad. Don't care.
Wait a minute. Dynamite's on Tuesday this week?
Yeah, I'm assuming because of baseball.
Baseball? Yeah, baseball will be Yeah, because game 1 will be tomorrow night. ALCS game 1 is going to be tomorrow night. Yeah, so it'll be on TBS. And the basketball starting soon too. Well, that's on TNT, so that doesn't matter. But yeah,
it's tonight. That starts Sixers tonight.
They're on TNT, I believe.
Interesting.
Logistics.
Wabistics. The Wabistics of. One time we're driving home.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, wait a minute. This reminded me of something. We're driving home, Jimmy and I. I forget where we're coming from. We're definitely going home. We're going south on 95. Jim's gonna take his shit. So like the last quarter of the ride, Jim's driving the car going. He's driving the car going. Trying holding it.
Is this real?
Oh yeah. He's going like this. He's going. Oh. And I'm trying to not. I can't stop laughing.
Like right now.
Secretly praying that he craps his pants.
Shit all over you. That's shit all over your lap. Go.
Oh no, it was this. I'm sorry, it was this. Oh, how this was helping? I don't know.
For dramatic effect.
God.
Yeah, I've shit in and around or on top of cars many a time. Public shitting is my forte.
Sometimes you got to pop a squat, take notes.
You crazy for that one, Jim.
Yeah, I shit a lot. Once shit on Bach High School.
After a ill-fated trip to the
the Islanders.
The
fell down the
Islanders
stairs.
stadium.
I fell down the fucking
Got
stadium.
locked out of the stadium.
I got locked out of the stadium. Oh my god, I forgot all about that. That was a good time.
And shit on Bach High School.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're
you know
not
why?
wiping after any of these.
Oh, that was the block from my house when I shit on the Bach High School. So I just shimmy walked, keeping the poo between my cheeks till I got home. Luckily, I did not get it all over my drawers.
Oh,
I just went right in the shower.
Oh,
Took my pants off, got right in the shower with the underwear on.
Oh God, my fucking hero.
Yep. Yeah, I fell down at Nassau Coliseum. I fell down the fucking ramp, tumbled down it.
Didn't you fall down the steps inside?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You
and
paid
landed
for
on
that.
someone. It
like
landed
into
on
the
someone.
seats?
Like walked to, like those. It's an old hockey arena. It's kind of like bleachers.
Yeah.
Sort of. So like you walk to the concrete stairs, and I slipped, and I just went down like and landed on some woman.
Oh my God.
It was amazing.
I just shit.
And the reason why this happened, it was when vape weed first started coming out. Like when when weed oil first became a thing.
The Earls.
And in the old things to cook it looked like fucking old school walkie-talkies. That's what they looked like. And I was like, fuck, try this shit. I'll do this shit. No big deal. No big deal. It was wasted. It was great.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I ended up wandering through the parking lot looking for the bus that we came in on.
Whoa, I'm on top of a lady, and I'm pretty high.
Yeah, my buddy was like, they went out to smoke cigarettes. So they make you, they make you leave through a certain exit in this little queued off area to smoke cigs. My buddy was like, I was like, I got to go outside for a minute. I got to go outside. And he said I went outside and just beeline for the parking lot, just left. And he
took one breath of that cigarette air, and you're like, this isn't going to do it either. I got to keep moving.
Some guy that was with us was like, yo, where's he going? Is he going to be all right? And my buddy was just like, yeah, he does this. He'll be all right.
No, but he'll be all right.
Good times.
Coincidentally, he's heading up to Nassau Coliseum with a bunch of mummers.
Mummers happen.
All right.
Good times. It's the first one at the party. First one to fall asleep, too. Good stuff. There you go. This week, AEW. This is where we're getting tonight.
Who cares?
Here we go. Listen to this card. AEW World Championship match. We're getting Moxley versus the Hangman. AEW interim women's world championship match. We're getting Toni Storm versus Hikaru Shida. We're getting all title matches on this, apparently. We're getting the ROH championship match between Jericho and Dalton Castle.
Yeah, he's back.
Holy shit. The World Trios match, Death Triangle versus Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. We will hear from MJF. Can't wait for that. And Renee Paquette will sit down with Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta.
Yay!
Wait, I guess there's more? Is there more? Hold on.
More to come.
But wait.
That's everything. Live from Cincinnati, Ohio.
I'm sure Moxley's going to lose in Cincinnati too.
Yeah,
Hangman Page.
Loses to Hangman.
They love to do that.
Yeah. Chris, thoughts? You excited?
Nope.
That women's match is going to be fucking killer, though.
Yep.
Wonder if
Karshida doesn't do it for me.
No, why not?
I don't know. Just not invested in her. It's not a knock on her skill set. I think it's just that I've been a match with Toni Storm will probably I'll buy into that. But I've seen so much of her and
the live crowd loves her.
Paddlefoot that it's funny.
I've been like a humpback whale.
I've been seeing on my action figure hunts, I've been seeing a lot of Britt Baker.
Mm-hmm.
And her action figure has giant feet.
Do they all though?
I don't know. That's why I got to look to see if they all have them, but I hope they don't. Because AEW has a knack of putting these little, the Ty Conti one had a giant butt.
Yeah.
They put these like little tiny things in there that are like, oh, this is specifically something about that person's actual, it's not a generic mold.
Right.
The Britt Baker box is just like a little bit deeper than all the rest of them.
Big ass feet, just to make room for her feet.
They did her.
That Riho one, they gave her a big ass nose.
They did Britt Baker dirty.
They did fucking Rio dirty.
They did Rio dirty too. Rio looked like Grimace. Yeah. And not that four-eyed Grimace, like the old school Grimace.
Who's the four-eyed Grimace?
The one that's in the adult Happy Meals.
Did you get one, Chris? Did you get an adult Happy Meal?
No, I won't.
Why not? You're an adult.
Money. I didn't. I don't know what that is. An adult.
I don't know what adult is or four-eyed Grimace.
No, it was cactus. Some kind of there was a name for it, and I was Googling like, what is this? And then I was looking, I was like,
it's
maybe
DMT
I'll get
Grimace.
It. So I was like, maybe I'll get them. Right, because they're kind of weird looking. I kind of dig them, and I was like, maybe I'll get them. And I looked into them, and they are. I think you have to order them online. You have to use the app to order the Happy Meal, and then go to the place and get it.
Okay.
And I was like, I ain't giving fucking McDonald's my information. Fuck them. Dude, this is
not for Machine Elf Grimace.
Machine Elf Grimace.
Yeah, Brandon knows what I'm talking about. Machine Elf Grimace. That's what you see when you
DMT
do
Grimace.
Oh yeah.
See
like
DMT.
the crazy elves coming at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't fucking need that.
No, you don't.
No,
no one does.
Nobody does. Oh, you should do DMT. It'll open your mind. Good. I'm good. I don't need a horrifying experience.
I like
Keep
my
it
mind
closed.
being closed. Keep it closed, wrapped up, locked up. I'm good. Kind of want to do it. Maybe shit myself. Brandon,
these things are going on eBay. I thought that was my first thought when I woke up was I think I shit my pants.
And it's only like minutes, right?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, under 10 minutes.
Feels like
but it feels like it's like 1,000 years. It fucking stinks.
Oh, thank you, man.
Oh,
do you know what's in there? The
what,
abuses? You're going to make me deal with not only the things that happened to me, but the things I did to other people? Fuck you, dude. I'm a great guy. Let's keep it at that. I never did it. What did I ever do wrong? I don't need to face this. I want my pain. I need my pain.
All three of us are like
Fucking
just barely
Kirk
got our heads onto a place where we can go out into civilization. I don't need to go in the egg scrambler.
Listen, Captain Kirk wouldn't do it. I ain't doing it.
By the
Star
way,
Trek 4, The Undiscovered Country.
R.I.P. Former New Japan young lion. Could see it. Kitamura passed away, 36 years old. If you guys remember him, he was all flexed out.
That was the big guy with yeah.
He won the New Japan Young Lions Cup. Yeah, he was only 36 years old. He got he had, I think he got busted for steroids, and he had a scooter fell on him. That's why he got let go. Got injured.
Fuck.
Yeah. Last time I saw him, he was at the muscle bar doing pump and getting slapped by the muscle ladies in Tokyo. He was doing a shoulder workout with Chan Yoda on her YouTube channel. Week later, dead. R.I.P. It's a shame. Brandon, thoughts? Ready to die?
Yeah, I'm ready to take me to where he's at.
How come I made it past 36? I only wanted to last that long. Chris, thoughts?
None.
Okay. R.I.P. Don't die young.
You know who's
Well, if
still
you do
alive?
die young, make sure
You know
nobody's
who's still alive?
Ric Flair.
You got to be fair
Oh,
to
yeah.
Flair and say that Flair is the fairest of them all.
Yeah, he
would
looked
you
pretty
stop?
sad at the mausoleum. Man.
Oh, shit. Sorry. I'm watching Muscle Bar vids. Go ahead.
Flair looked pretty sad on Instagram at the mausoleum for Reed. That was one of the strangest pictures I've seen in the last couple months. Thanks, Chris.
What the fuck?
They're just holding hands. His wife's just staring at the
Who
ground.
the
with it.
fuck? You fucking egomaniac.
My son.
Who takes a picture at a funeral and at a gravesite? I mean, look, if you go see Bon Scott's grave, I get it. Right?
Yeah, but your
You're going to
kids.
be like, yo, man, I went to see Jimi Hendrix. It's great. Really, man. Then I get it, right? The statue of whatever Ramones got the statue. Okay.
Joey?
But no, Joey doesn't have a statue.
Johnny?
Joey's got a liquor bottle.
Tommy?
Tommy's
Tim?
still alive, I believe.
Tim Jamone?
CJ Jamone.
The Jamones. Dude.
I'm gonna find a Jamone, somebody who's a Jamone grave, and I'm gonna go take a picture of my like
The Jamones.
Timmy Jamone.
All right, that's enough of this.
It's Tony Jamone.
I'm gonna go do some DMT.
I gotta go take a shit and go to the doctor.
All right. Have fun at the
My
doctor's.
Thanks for joining us this week.
Save the
Jersey,
shit.
every
They may need it.
week. Yeah, no, they don't.
Throw
I
it in the
already
box
sent a shit
there
in a
while you're
box.
there.
Yeah, I already shit in a box for him. I'm not shitting in a box again.
Dude, my insurance company sent me the shit in the box. You know what I did?
Shit in a
Threw
box.
it right the fuck out. I didn't do it.
Why didn't you? It's
I
a
feel
quick
like it-
experience. Handling
no.
dry shit.
No, I didn't need to do it.
Shit.
Handed it to my
human
mailman.
Shit outside of water smells fucking awful. Human
Mhm.
shit. Just preservatives, weird colors, hairs. It's fucking bizarre. There you go. Thanks for joining us.
The fucking hairs got me.
Just the texture looks like hairs. Thanks for joining us this week, and join us here every week at Wrestling is Poops. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hard4wrestling. Subscribe and follow, tell your friends. For Brandon and Chris, I'm Jim. We'll be back here next week.